Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. If you're someone who loves eating healthy but struggles to balance it with a budget, you're in the right place. I'm Katherine, and today we're going to talk about how to nourish your body holistically. You know, that means eating real, whole foods that support your overall well-being, but also without breaking the bank. I'm an RN by trade, and through my many years of being in the medical world, I realized prevention and cures to diseases really comes down to one's overall health, and that includes holistic eating. I do believe Western medicine has its place, but treating and caring for the body holistically, I personally have seen and experienced the benefits versus the slogan, a pill for every ill. My aim is to share how everyone, regardless of income, can lead and live a more holistic lifestyle. Today's focus on eating holistically on a budget is easier than you think, and it all starts with a few key tips and tricks. Eating holistically means focusing on foods that fuel your body and mind. Organic, nutrient-dense, free from highly processed, junk. But let's be real, eating this way can sometimes feel like it costs a lot more and can be completely overwhelming. Don't worry though, I've got you covered. Let's start with the first tip. Tip number one, plan. A little planning can go a long way when it comes to saving money. If you walk into a store without a plan, you're more likely to end up buying random things that aren't on your list. So let's talk about meal prep. Start by making a simple weekly meal plan. You don't have to get super fancy here. Just plan out your breakfasts, lunches, dinners, and snacks for the week. And now you might be thinking, that's a lot of work. But trust me, spending just a few minutes mapping this out will help you focus on what you actually need at the store. You can use this free form I put together, just print it out and start planning your week. And that's what I used for my week this week too. This will also help you avoid those impulse buys like we talked about. When you write your list, make sure to organize it by sections like I have, such as fruits, veggies, grains, proteins, dairy, frozen foods, and so on. This will help you stay on track while you're shopping and you won't miss anything essential. Also, don't forget about leftovers when you're planning. If you plan meals that make extra portions, you'll have lunch ready for the next day or even dinner the day after. You can also repurpose ingredients across meals to save money as well. Now, there are only 2 adults in my household and 1 toddler, but we make meals to feed a large family. This helps to not only ensure we have healthy meals on hand, but also helps to save time so we are not cooking every day, which is awesome. With that being said, let me add that my husband and I are on a tight budget. I stay home with our daughter and one on the way here, but also try to bring in some side income. Making the decision to stay home did come with some sacrifices, one being less money coming into the household. So planning a budget for groceries is essential for us. And to be very transparent, we budget around $800 a month on groceries and eat the most holistic foods we can while trying to stay within our budget. Most of our food does come from Aldi, but occasionally we may need to get something at Kroger if we're in a pinch, and I always get our raw milk from a somewhat local farmer here in Georgia. There are no farms near me, unfortunately, a huge downfall about living in Metro Atlanta, but shockingly, Aldi does provide some local produce from Georgia farms and South Carolina and North Carolina farms in this area. Now, before we get into what to buy and how to do it on your budget, I know some of you may be skeptical of Aldi, so I want to address that. I always was too, I get it. Also note, I have no affiliation with Aldi. I simply just shop there and want to share with you how you can too while eating holistically and on a budget. You can check out Aldi's website and you can find information about their food sourcing, genetically engineered foods that they carry, pesticides, and the list goes on and on and on. So I would encourage you, if you are skeptical, to just do some research into Aldi's products and also do some research into where you usually shop as well. Again, it all comes down to the products and the produce that you are buying. All right, so you've got your meal plan and grocery list ready. Maybe? If you are totally overwhelmed with what to even make for a holistic meal, again, I've got you covered. Linked below is a sample week of what my family eats, which I hope can help get you started. We eat a lot of meat in our household, roughly 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight a day. That's my husband, that's me, and our toddler. So I think the sample of our week's recipes is pretty relatable. There are also many other websites and recipes out there that you can just Google or Pinterest search. And remember, you are sticking to whole foods, non-processed, avoiding seed oils. So make sure you check your food labels. And shop the perimeter of the store. That is where most of your fresh foods and non-processed foods are. If you can eat fully organic, that's great, that's awesome. Good for you, but we personally cannot afford all organic produce, so there are some things we buy non-organic, but we do try to stick to the dirty dozen rule. Every year there is a produce list on the dirtiest and the cleanest produce, meaning ones with the most pesticides and the ones with the least amount of pesticides applied to them. This list is considered the dirty and clean dozen. So what this list can help you determine is what foods to buy organic and which ones don't really matter as much. And since we are on a tight budget, and I would imagine some of you are too because you're watching this video, we try our darn hardest to buy the dirty dozen organically while we don't really stress buying all organics of the clean list. This is a helpful way to stay on your budget, but also eat the cleanest you possibly can. If you still are a little lost, let's talk about what kinds of foods to include in your diet that are both nutrient dense and affordable. Eating holistically doesn't mean spending a ton on expensive superfoods. Think staples like beans, lentils, oats, eggs, and whole grains. These foods are incredibly nutritious and usually inexpensive. They are packed with fiber, protein, and essential vitamins and minerals, making them great base ingredients for almost any meal. For example, beans. You can buy canned or dry, but dry beans are super cheap and you can cook them in batches. You can use them in soups, salads, or even as a filling for tacos or wraps. We're having them with tacos for dinner tonight. Oats aren't just for breakfast either. You can use them to make energy bars, add them to smoothies, or even make savory oat bowls with veggies and spices. We love them in protein balls. That's a huge one for us. And also to get that extra protein, we put some protein powder in there, mix it in with peanut butter, some dark chocolate chunks, some chia seeds. It's delicious. All right, and don't forget about eggs. They're an affordable source of protein. Affordable in quotes kind of right now because of what's going on, but they also have a lot of vitamins and you can use them in so many different ways. Boiled, scrambled, in omelets, as the base of a frittata. My personal favorite and my toddler's favorite is mixing them with cottage cheese and everything but the bagel seasoning and scrambling them that way. They are so good, and talk about a ton of protein that you're getting in the morning. That's 6 grams or 7 grams of protein per egg. So let's say 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is what we strive for. So that's 2 eggs for me, plus about 8 grams of cottage cheese in there. That's a lot. Add your raw milk in there or just your milk in there, a big glass of milk. You're getting in so much protein in the morning, which will help keep your blood sugar stable throughout the day. That's all for another video, but for veggies, root vegetables like carrots, sweet potatoes, and cabbage are often much cheaper than leafy greens, but they're still packed with nutrients. And don't shy away from frozen veggies either. They're an easy and inexpensive way to add variety to your meals. Since we're talking about frozen foods, let's go further into that. I know fresh veggies are amazing, but frozen options can be just as good. Like I said, and sometimes better, especially if the fresh ones are out of season or priced high. Frozen veggies and fruits are often flash frozen right at the peak ripeness, so they retain their nutrients. And they're also budget friendly and have a long shelf life, which means less food waste, which means more money in your pocket. During the off season, for many items, we buy frozen and simply put it into smoothies. I do not recommend getting steamable bags though for your frozen veggies, as steaming in plastic bags in your microwave is a little skeptical. So I always recommend either making it in a pressure cooker or on the stovetop in non-toxic cookware. Getting all the nutrients we need on a daily basis is hard enough as it is, so do your best to not cook it out of your food. From the Harvard Health Publishing of Harvard Medical School, it was stated, for example, boiled broccoli loses glucosinolate, the sulfur-containing compound that may give the vegetable its cancer-fighting properties, as well as the taste that many find distinctive and some find disgusting. And it goes on to say, is steaming vegetables, even microwave steaming, better? In some respects, yes. For example, steamed broccoli holds on to more glucosinolate than boiled or fried broccoli. So just side note that. I know I do not get all the vitamins and nutrients and minerals I need in a day, especially now that I am halfway through my second pregnancy. So I do rely on vitamins to help supplement that, which is also another great way to holistically nourish your body. And that's how I holistically nourish my body, knowing I am getting all those vitamins and nutrients that I'm not getting in my food. We Heart Nutrition is the only supplement company that I have stuck with and really like. I'm currently taking their wholesome prenatal and wholesome omega-3 vitamin. I've done so much research, trust me, into vitamins and what our body's needs are. And We Heart Nutrition is only one of 2 companies that I have found that actually supplies the needs of what my body needs. They are a pro-life, American-owned, third-party tested vitamin and supplement company. So really, could you get any more pluses than that? Their vitamins also stand with my holistic way of living, as they are packaged in glass containers and not plastics. Ding, 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 win-win right there. They have vitamins for men and women in all stages of life. So go check out We Heart Nutrition now and use my code KATHERINEANN to get 20% off your entire order. Again, that is code KATHERINEANN, KATHERINEANN, to get 20% off your entire order of We Heart Nutrition. All right. If you're like, whoa, this is way too much information, this is totally overwhelming, and if you're like me, if you get overwhelmed, you may just kind of want to shut down and not do anything at all. Again, I totally understand. Eating holistically did not happen overnight for me, and do know it does not have to happen overnight for you either. We still have a lot more to cover in this video, but don't shut this off if it's overwhelming. Take one bit of information that you may have learned so far from this video and apply it to your life. Come back, listen again, and find another piece of information you want to apply. Some of you may be all or nothing kind of people, but again, you don't have to be when it comes to your health. Little changes over time create good habits, and that's my goal for you. To improve your health over time, it will not happen overnight. It surely did not for me. So just know it probably will not for you either. And that's just not a really realistic way to look at living holistically. Now though, let's talk about where and how to shop smart. First off, take advantage of sales. Check out weekly flyers, online deals, and apps that track discounts for you. Stores often rotate their discounts, so make sure you're always aware of what's on sale. We choose Aldi to shop at, but sometimes items we can't find there, like cottage cheese, for example, because Aldi doesn't carry good cottage cheese without a lot of other added ingredients in it. We buy that at Kroger, and sometimes Kroger actually has that on sale. Farmers markets can be a great way to get fresh local produce too. And of course, then you're supporting your local farmers. Buying in bulk is another way to cut costs. You can get grains, beans, nuts, and even spices in large quantities, meats, all the things, for a fraction of the price compared to smaller packaging. And if you have the space to store items, buy in bulk whenever possible. Even a cow. That sounds wild, I know, but sometimes it is cheaper depending on what you eat and how much of something that you eat to buy a whole or half cow at one time and store it that way. You can always split a cow with your friends or family too, and an added bonus, you'll know where your meat is coming from. And you may even be able to go look at the cow on the farm first and then buy it. And of course, added bonus, you're supporting a local farmer too, which is huge. All right, one more thing. Minimizing food waste is a huge part of eating holistically on a budget. If you're throwing away food, you are literally throwing away money. Collect your scraps throughout the week and get creative with your leftovers. If you've got some roasted veggies left over from dinner, toss them into a salad or blend them into a soup or even a smoothie. I love making charcuterie boards with any leftovers. Fruits, veggies, and meats all go on the charcuterie board. My mom and my aunt, they are twins and they're so fun, have this fun charcuterie Friday dinner that they do, and I have now adopted that into our household. It's a giant spread of all the leftovers from the fridge, and you put it out charcuterie style on the table and you just eat what you want. The great thing is though, it's all healthy food. You can eat as much or as little as you want, and of course, being self-controlled, but you don't need to feel bad or feel gross afterwards since it's all healthy and nourishing food for your body. It's a great way to use things that are on their way out and reduce, again, that food waste, which again, puts more money back into your pocket. Make sure to store your produce properly too. Again, airtight containers like glass mason jars, or one of my favorites are these glass Rubbermaid containers. You'd be surprised how long things can last if stored correctly. Like, did you know that keeping leafy greens in a damp paper towel in a sealed container can help them last longer? Or putting an avocado turned upside down, this is if you cut it, turn it upside down in water, makes it last longer and it will not go brown. Or putting berries in glass mason jars makes them last longer too. For Christmas, my mom got me this airtight sealer for my mason jars, and that is supposed to help keep produce longer too. So you can always check into that kind of stuff. So before we wrap up, let's remember that holistic living isn't just about food. It's about a lifestyle that nourishes your whole body. Food is just one of the elements of it. Today's video is solely focused on being able to implement holistic eating on a budget, but I will be sharing other ways to live holistically through my long form videos like this in the future, and I do plan to post 2 long form videos a month with lots and lots of shorts in between with tips and tricks on holistic living, specifically geared towards the focus of my long form video that I had posted prior. Taking care of your mental and emotional health is just as important as nourishing your body, but no, they are all interconnected. What you eat affects your entire system, how you function physically, and how you think. And again, don't stress about perfection. Just focus on making small, mindful choices that support your overall well-being. So there you have it. Eating holistically on an Aldi budget doesn't have to be overwhelming or expensive. With a little planning, shopping smart, and focusing on affordable, nutrient-dense foods, you can nourish your body and your wallet. I hope these tips were helpful. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment below, and please subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay healthy and happy eating.